Guys talking on games, what we play, and breaking news. Thank you for joining. This is a haiku for episode 22 of Beard Bites. We are
Whoa.
here. We're finally back. We
That-
had to fight through. I can't even the C virus because if I say it, apparently YouTube copyrights you or something, bro. We're trying
yeah.
to get the buzzwords right, but a
Just
couple
want to
trips,
say, hold
a
on.
full month.
That intro was very good.
Yeah, I was workshopping it. You have
Mad props.
I had another one. I had another one where I was gonna get some black pepper and I was gonna sniff it and then I'd be like, true. And to episode 22. But this is better.
This
All
was
right.
that was
I did
really
not.
good. Very,
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
good. Yeah, like
I
Ahmed
was like
said.
the Sabrina Carpenter of freaking intros, man. I'm out here doing a new one every week. We gotta,
Boo. But
dude, bro. We
also
have to
true.
have a compilation of the best intros, bro.
Oh, we
I
should.
don't
That's a
know.
good idea. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe we could do that when we do our 100th episode. We'll find out. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we got a pretty good show recording, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, so we got some stuff about marathon, some stuff about the game show, the game awards, not game awards, the game shows that occurred while we were out. WB is kind of getting got a little bit, which is kind of nice. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah. How was your week?
Xbox switch to FIFA, free FIFA coins, Kojima,
I'm put-
GameStop. All right, we got the words in.
I'm putting this part post intro, so you're gonna look a little crazy, just screaming words at people when they come back.
They're gonna come back.
FIFA on the Switch too. Say, all right, that's the news. But it's been a while.
How to convert PDF to Word. We gotta get it when we can. But sorry, I'm done. I'm done.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been? What have you been playing? What have you been up to these 2 weeks? We haven't recording 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. I came back from Hajj, so
Mashallah.
well, I'm not really slick bald anymore. I have a buzz cut now because after the hair grew back. I caught a virus that is 19. Thankfully I'm doing good right now. It's a lot easier than it was in the 2020 era.
Nice.
So we're just vibing now. But at the moment I started Clair Obscure. I'm really digging it, man.
Okay.
So I think it does it's very good at making turn-based combat actionable. At every moment you have something that engages you, whether it's on the defensive side where you dodge and parry, and it mixes it up with the timings and the types of actions you can do. So you either have to jump or parry or dodge or do like a second type of parry, depending on the attack pattern. And on the attacking side, you can aim at weak points to kind of deal more damage or to add like a marking vulnerability on the enemy. So it makes you think in different ways where it's not like Pokemon where you just smash.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I feel like when I play a turn-based game, I'm smashing. Let me just smash this attack because I know the weakness. So this one kind of keeps you on your head.
Yep.
Like keeps you thinking on your toes, I guess. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Well,
also
the story's yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. I was gonna say also the head, but yeah, you were saying the story.
Yeah. No, the story is really interesting. I mean, don't look up the premise. I think if you're gonna play, just play it blind because I think
Absolutely.
you kind of the way they kind of feed you the world is interesting because it doesn't hit you with the cutscene of long ago this thing happened. You kind of like you're stuck in the middle of the story and then you learn about the world as you progress, right? And that's interesting. Very French, which is
dude, it's so French.
Yeah. But I really dig it. I think so far this is my contender for game of the year, which is crazy
Really?
to say given everything else, because I think it just captures everything so well.
Yep.
And it's just I feel like it's sort of a unique take.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in some aspects, some of the game design elements, if it was done by like a traditional like AAA studio, would have been like this is a little too like unforgiving, I guess, like towards a player, because there's some bosses that are just like,
There are some
hey, man,
dude. There's some bosses that are
yeah,
tough, dog. It's
yeah,
insane.
So
Yeah, but
yeah.
if you can fight those bosses, some of the rewards you get are insane. Like that, I looked up a boss just to see, like, dude, this there has to be something worth it to like beat this guy, because he's quite literally, I can't touch him. And I saw the reward, I was like, oh, that is very much worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely, you know, it makes it worth it. And the sense of achievement you get when beating these really hard bosses, because you could do it. Like, you can beat a hard boss, you just have to parry and dodge like pretty well. But yeah, I would also put it as my game of the year contender too. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And the one thing I didn't even mention is that the cast of characters that you play with in your party are phenomenal. Like each character is so unique, and they have their own gimmick on how they play, and it's so well thought out. Like like each of these characters could have been a star in their own action adventure game, and it could have had its own series. And the game designers and developers in the studio basically said, you know what, we're gonna give you one unique character, and you have like a party of like 6 of them or something, and then it's like you have to like mix and match like how you want to play. And
it's very clear what games these guys are grabbing inspiration from, and it's very clear like what they're fans of, you know? And it's in a good way. It shows that they care about the world they're building, and they put in really cool concepts. Like, there's a character, I won't say who or what, but like there's a character that gets a system that you're like, oh, that's so weird how they put it in this format, but it works really well, you know? Has to do with the alphabet, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's good. Good game. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend. I haven't actually caught up to where I was, which I'm very surprised about, so I need to book it and finish the game before he beats me to it.
I guess you could say I was solo leveling. Segue. I also started solo leveling. It's a interesting show.
Are you liking it, or?
I can see the critiques of why people don't like it, because it's just straight up like, yo, it's okay. It's like My Hero Academia, but like the guy is not so like self-deprecating. And he's a little too cool.
What I heard is that he's just standing there aura farming for the like 30 minutes, and like that's the episode, and he like succeeds at everything or something like that.
A little bit. I think this. I finished season. I finished season 1. Actually, I started. Okay, they're quick. The episodes are quick. I started season 1 yesterday. Finished it today.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's
Are you watching English or Korean?
Yeah, English, man. I'm not trying to read low key.
Fair.
But the voice acting is good. I think they have Vegeta's voice actor in there. So
ooh, okay. That's dope.
But I think the setup for season 2 is going to be interesting. So we'll figure out next week what my rating is going to be. But yeah, so that's been my setup. How about yourself? What you been up to?
Let me see here. So I think I talked about starting Andor on the podcast. I finished it. Dude, so at first I was like, I don't really get the hype, like whatever. But then I went back and watched some scenes, like really thought about it. And I was like, oh, actually, like this is probably one of the best pieces of media I've seen in recent history, just because of how well it does the rebellion story, how well it does the connecting everything, how well it does like just the storytelling is just immaculate. And especially in our current day and age, it's like really like relevant, you know? I definitely recommend it. It's the best Star Wars content that's like as far away from Star Wars as possible. There's like a hint of like a whiff of the Force, and that's it. You don't really deal with it. It's dealing with a bunch of other stuff while you're, you know, engaging with the story, and it does it so well, you know? One of our friends put us on it, and I very much applaud him and thank him for doing so, because this is a very, very, very good show in my opinion. And I think it's worth anyone's watch.
He had a running bet that it was me, Hadi, and another guy. He's like, I will pay you guys money if you don't like it.
Yep.
Which I mean, hey, it's that good where the guy's putting his money is where his mouth is. I can't speak. Oh my god. But
yeah, so it is excellent. Honestly, it's so good. But besides that, I also have been playing Super Mario 3D World because the Switch 2 is out, and I've been trying to like stave off my desire to buy it by playing like the Switch that I have.
Wow.
And I actually don't own this game. I'm actually borrowing it from my cousin using the virtual game share setup thing that they got. And it's honestly really cool. So they were over at my place. They bought their Switch and they're like, "Oh, do you want to try this any of these games?" Like, "Oh yeah, let me try 3D World." I was like, "Oh, it's not a cartridge. It's like I bought it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind." He's like, no, but we can do virtual game share. So the way it works is that you are on the same Wi-Fi. You click like, "Hey, like I want to share this game," and you're like, I want to share this game, and you have the game for 2 weeks. It's as if you own the game on your system. And for that 2 weeks, you can play it. And then when that 2 weeks is up, you can just redo it over Wi-Fi. Not the same Wi-Fi, you can just do it over the internet. The initial share has to be on the same Wi-Fi. And it looks dope, honestly. Like, it looks pretty cool, and I'm very excited like to try this feature out again. The game itself is okay. It's a fun Mario game. It's pretty easy, and I do think that the perspective is messing me up quite a bit because it's like this pseudo 3D of like it's like fixed camera angles, but it's still 3D, so you can move on the X, Y, and Z axis. And it's like I'm not able to make certain jumps because like I can't. My depth perception is like thrown off. You know, like.
Oh, just look at the little shadow on the floor, bro.
No, I know, right?
I'm just
should.
joking. I'm joking.
No, but like I tried. I did try that strategy, and it's not like working for me. So I don't know, like like tilt shift photography and like tilt shift video. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where everything looks like miniatures.
It's kind of like that. Not as egregious in terms of like the miniatures, but like that same like look of like, oh, it's all like laid out. So I'm like, okay, hold on. It's a little tough to like play, but I am enjoying it. I do want to finish it and see like how I feel about it. So I'll come back with that later. I hung out with a friend who has a Switch 2, and I hung out with my brother who also got a Switch 2. And I played Mario Kart World. Honestly, this is a pretty fun Mario game. It's pretty like tight, and it feels really good. It's very chaotic with like 24 players. So much so that it's like kind of difficult, honestly, to like go through it. So that's that I very little played, but it was still pretty fun. I will say we played 4-player split screen on like a Switch, and it was struggling a little bit to like render everything. Like it was choppy at certain parts. It was hitting like below 30 FPS on some of the like screens. And I think it's a combination of just 4 players on one console, and also the combination of 24 players on a map, and these maps are huge and dynamic. So that was really interesting to see, but not that big of a deal.
Bro. I washed up Switch 3. Where are you? I think that's what.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I will get a Switch 2 anytime soon, but it's a cool console, and maybe eventually I'll get one. But as of now, I think I'm okay. That Donkey Kong Directo kind of made me want to get one, but I'm fighting the urge for now.
Bro, if you're gonna give me flack for wanting to upgrade my PS5 from base to a Pro for just 3 games, you're doing it for just 2 games. Man.
Absolutely, no. If I buy one, you have full range.
Then I can buy the PS5 Pro.
No, you can buy a Switch 2 to play with me, but you can't buy a PS5 Pro. That's the rule. But other than that, I played Clair Obscure. No need to talk more about that. Like I kind of said my thoughts already when you talked about it. Great game. Probably going to be game of the year. I do want to plan on finishing it this week just to see like what the ending is and stuff like that, because the story looks really interesting. And I also played a lot of Elden Ring Nightreign. I've been playing a lot of this. I believe I have, let me check how many hours I got in this thing. I have 20 hours in the game as of now, and I am really liking it. Honestly, it's pretty fun. The formula, I genuinely was not going to buy the game, but then one of my brother convinced me. He's like, hey, like, it's really good. You should try it out. I'm like, all right, let me try it. And I bought it and I'm playing it. I'm like, oh, this formula like actually works. Like, I do miss the lore. And when in the way that this game is laid out, like when you're running around doing a bunch of stuff, you won't have time to like really sit down and consider the lore of the game. But the formula surprisingly works. And I won't go over the formula because I'm sure if anybody's interested in it, they can look it up. But suffice to say, it's pretty fun, and I can see room for more content in this game to be added. They just added a new boss like recently, so
Oh, interesting.
Here's hoping they add more content down the line and keep support for this game pretty high. But I'm liking it. It's fun, and I do want to play more. I recommend you try it out as well. I think you might enjoy just checking out the vibe and how it is, to be honest.
How's the multiplayer like joining? Is the multiplayer experience from a joining friends easy?
I haven't
Like
played with friends. Oh, actually, I did. Yes, it's very easy. Very
Okay,
much
so
like, send them lobby code and join, and that's
okay,
it.
so it's not like traditional Souls where
No,
it's like,
no, no, no.
okay,
Yeah.
you have to do a carrier pigeon, smoke signal,
No. Very
wait
simple.
for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very simple. And they actually have I was very surprised. I was playing and I got disconnected because like the power went out for a split second. And I was like, oh, damn, all right, well, let me just boot back in to a new game. And it's like, hey, would you like to reconnect to the session?
Oh,
Which
nice.
I was like, wow, that's something I am very surprised to see in a From Software game like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty good formula. I'm glad they jumped into something that's experimental and it works. I'm excited to see more.
It's good that they're fixing or like they're modernizing their approach to multiplayer because oh my god, Souls games and multiplayers was not a good recipe in the past.
It was not. And so when the next one comes out, which would be Dusk Bloods, I'm very curious to see how that's going to be affected by the multiplayer. And the last thing I did before we move on to the news is I literally just finished it like 30 minutes ago, the season 4 of Love, Death, Robots. Dog. Okay, have you seen Love, Death, Robots?
I am not a fan.
Really?
There's just something about the end, like not the anthology, but I think it's just like it's too much like high art. I feel like in my like that I'm just consuming.
Okay, very fair.
I kind of want a story sometimes is maybe what I'm trying to say.
Very, very fair. I can see that. That's that makes sense. So I'm actually a really big fan of the series, and like I like the exploration that they do with different studios and stuff like that. So I was really excited to watch this, and I sat down with the wife and we watched it, and dude, this season was so bad. This season sucked, dude. It was.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh no.
It was.
I thought you were gearing up to be like, this is great.
No. This season was metric. Like, there were like 2 episodes that were fun, but the rest were just like random. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like diss the art style of it. Like, the art style of a lot of it was cool, and there were some really interesting concepts, but it did not measure up, in my opinion. So very disappointed in that, but that's fine. Like, it's part of that's like the thing you get with these anthology series. Like, it's a very hit or miss. So, yeah. So that's what I did this week. Before we jump into the news, just wanted to shout out the email we have. We have a email where you guys can send questions in. It's beardbytesmail@gmail.com. Beard and then BYTES mail@gmail.com. Yeah. Other than that, we can get into the news. I will say, let me actually write down this timestamp so I can tell people to start from here. I will say, so for the news, we're not going to be covering like play-by-play for the game show stuff because it was like 2 weeks ago. It doesn't really make sense to kind of cover something that's that old, and there's a lot in it. So we're just going to cover stuff that we found interesting about the show. Yeah, so like we'll go from there and then get into it from there. So Ahmed, you go. What you were playing catch up. You were telling me don't send you what's going on.
Oh yeah, okay. For context, bro, I was in the Middle East. Like it's funny. I caught like the first 5 minutes of the Xbox thing at like 1 a.m. and I was like you know what, I really don't care right now, and I just closed it.
Yeah.
But I got back and I just saw some of the stuff, and the things that really caught my eye were the MGS3 remake. Not the remake itself, but they announced that they're doing an online portion. And for me, growing up, I played a lot of.
Did the original have an online?
Yeah. So MGS3 was like on the PlayStation 2 was like one of the first online games. Well, I mean, back then there weren't that many online games on the consoles, but MGS3 on the console on PS2 had online component, and they're not remastering that aspect. They're kind of like doing something inspired by the online, which like I played a lot of in like MGS4. There's something very that felt very cool growing up playing Metal Gear Online, because it handles stealth in an interesting way. Like
What is
when you
what
have
is
like
the gameplay for Metal Gear Online? Like, what does that look like?
yeah, so they have like they have like a token system. So the more you the I don't know if this is going to be exactly this, but in the past, you had like your traditional modes like TDM, capture the flag and whatnot, and then they had like some stealth specific ones. But the premise is get you get tokens or points based on how well you perform, and then you can buy better loadouts as you in the game. So it's not that like your level prestige or whatever you have like the best loadout. It's all about performance within the game. Kind of like how money works in Counter Strike or in Valorant.
I guess my question is like, what is the gameplay? What am I doing in the game?
So it's so the modes that I really attached to were like there's one team that's like all invisible. The other team is like a defending team.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the invisible team can only use like CQC or like punches and grabs and stuff. Like MGS is known for like how it handles like close quarter combat and like hand-to-hand martial arts stuff, right? So you only have that and like a trank pistol that has like 5 bullets. So it's like, okay, now how do you like sneak around and grab the flag and then go capture it, and so it leaned heavy into that. So when I saw that trailer, it looked a little bit like what I was expecting, and I was like, okay, I really want to see how this looks like, and I want to kind of jump back into it, because it was like a sleeper hit for me as like one of the multiplayer games, because you don't find unique takes on multiplayer, I feel like, nowadays.
I was about to say, you know what, it sounds like a Kojima ass multiplayer. Like in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So funny enough, the online is what caught my attention. And then the next thing that kind of initially that I didn't care about until like Maximilian Dude posted a video was Pragmata. It looked like a random just third-person shooter, but the way he described the gameplay is you're kind of like this like sci-fi space dude, and you have like this like little girl android on your shoulder, and you're fighting these like mechs, or not mechs, these like robots, robotic kind of enemies. They come at you, and like your controller is like sort of split, where the face buttons, like your XYAB controls like the hacking mini game for the droid or android, and then you have like your traditional shooter like shoulder buttons that you control like the space guy with, right? And he was saying that the feeling of doing both hacking and shooting at the same time, you can like open up weaknesses on the enemy, and this is all happening like while you're playing, so it gives you like this frantic like flow state. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, because on the surface, Pragmata just looked like another sci-fi like.
It looked like a Death Stranding like wannabe, to be completely honest.
Yeah, or like that, or like it like felt like that mixed with like not like a scary Dead Space, but just like it had like that clunkiness feeling, I guess, a little bit. But I don't know, it just looked interesting. Based off of how he described it, it looked interesting. Not initially, right? So then I was like, okay, let me kind of put that on my radar, because like I just see how other people talk about it and how things come out.
I'll be honest, until I see gameplay of this, the concept to me sounds like not horrible, but I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot, you know?
That's true. Like I feel like games are something that you have to kind of see, like because I feel like Death Stranding, honestly, when someone talk, yeah, bro, Death Stranding, you just deliver packages and the game is hard and you keep falling down. I'm like, bro, throw this in the trash. I don't want to do that. But there's something about seeing it, and then having someone vouch for it. It's like, okay, maybe there's something there, right?
Yep.
It's I don't know.
Okay.
Then
nice.
The next game was just Dawn of the Blood of the Dawn Walker. Yeah. I think this one is made by like ex CD Projekt Red guys, and the trailer looked interesting, and maybe I was really looking forward to another game called Vampire Bloodline Masquerades 2, but that keeps getting delayed forever, and maybe I
Yep.
just want something with vampires. So this looked interesting.
Just never coming out, bro.
Yeah. The other one that kind of caught my eye was Clockwork Revolution. Uh, Initially, I wanted to write this game off because it looked so much like Bioshock Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about it that my brain was like, okay, maybe it's not exactly that, because like it looks like there's like some element of like diverging story, I guess. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that plays out. So a lot of the stuff, I guess, except for MGS3 are things where I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Let me see how this like the pot boils, I guess, right?
I'll be honest, the Clockwork Evolution, I'm not interested in it at this point in time because like every vibe I get from the game is, for me, it's giving like Deathloop, in that like it seems like
Okay.
it has like a very strong vertical slice that they're showing in the trailer. And then after you've done like a couple of the time travel stuff, I feel like, and again, I haven't played the game and I'm just judging off the trailers. The vibe I get is like the same vibe I had when Deathloop came out, or when Deathloop was like, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. But then when you get in the nitty gritty of it, it's actually not that in depth and it's not too built out. So I do want to see this, because I do want to give this game a chance and I want to see how it plays before I say like this is trash. But just the initial vibe, you know. So I have got to keep my eye on it as well, you know.
No, for sure. Yeah. I think it's like the same way where it's like, oh, this like looks a little too good, kind of. And it's like, okay, maybe like my main thing is like there's a couple of folks that like like when it comes to gaming or game reviews and stuff that I feel like they have a good pulse on. Game Ranks is one of them that I feel like they give a pretty good impression with their Before You Buy series. So I mean, I'm looking forward to what they have to say on that.
Same.
And then last one is Resident Evil 9.
Nice.
Apparently, a lot of people were saying that kind of not that it changes the formula per se, but like there's like from the impressions of the demo, it's apparently they like are catching people off guard in new and interesting ways.
Yep.
So and also it looks low-key a little bit like disgusting from like the just from the iconography of the title work.
Yep.
So so it's giving a little bit like not Saw vibes, but like
grunge.
People throwing up in your grunge. Exactly.
I'll take it from there as well. I'm also excited for RE9. I recently became a fan of the series. Like I didn't really play like a lot of them, but I started with RE8. I played through the whole thing and I was like, oh, this is really fun. Then I played through RE8, I think DLC as well, and I also played through the RE4 remake, and I'm like, man, they make like really good like quality products. I'm really curious to see how this new one is gonna be. I'm also excited for it. The gameplay that I've heard about is like, you know, it'll be interesting. I think I don't do well with horror games, but I do want to give it a shot. And then the other things that I was excited for was Stranger Than Heaven, which is this is the Project Sentry by the Yakuza team, and it looks crisp. Like that's just the easiest way I can describe it, and it looks really cool, and it's intriguing, and I really want to play this game because we know that they make really high quality products, and for whatever reason I just couldn't get my hands into Judgment as much as I wanted to. Like, oh my God, the setting just wasn't pulling me in, so this one looks like it's gonna be really interesting. And I don't know, like Judgment's not a bad game. Like that's not, I don't mean to say it like that, but like I don't know what it was. I just could not bring myself to play it.
It's all good. I think the interesting thing about Stranger Than Heaven, I don't know if like they changed demos or if the premise of the game is that you play in different time periods.
Oh, I don't know.
Someone was saying you play in like the 1920s, then you play in like the 1940s. I don't know if there's like that's a mechanic in the game, but it's like I don't want to say Yakuza style game, but like it's like that kind of open world or open zone brawler kind of situation. But their technology is like improved. Maybe yeah. The technology has improved a lot on their engine. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it looks just crisp. So I'm really excited to see what this entails and how it looks when it comes out. Another thing that I was excited for was James Bond. I'll be honest, a lot of people saw this and they're like, oh, it looks weird, or like, oh, whatever, until we see gameplay. I think it's more so the team that's doing it. I really, really, really trust. It's the Hitman team, the IO team, and I think that they can deliver a really cool product. And like, I really liked what they showed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know it's not gameplay, so I don't want to get too hyped over it. But like, just the vibe, I feel like is a really, really interesting and fun vibe that like I feel like is missing from the space right now. So I'm kind of excited for it.
I'm curious to see how hard they lean into the spy angle.
Yep, exactly.
Like if it's gonna be like super goofy, like, oh, here's a pen that you double click and I don't know.
Well, they showed him like get a watch. He pushes a button on it, and and like a motorbike gets like flamethrowers out the butt. It's like, okay, that's goofy. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. I am curious to see what's gonna happen and how crazy they get. And then other than that, I also was excited for Marvel Tokon. Not because I plan on playing it, but I'm curious to see what characters they put in it, how the FGC scene will shift when this comes out, and there's 2XKO and all this kind of stuff. So I'm excited for it. I saw that trailer and I was immediately like, dude, Ahmed has to see this. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Okay, initially I was like, yo, this looks so fresh, but then two things kind of came to mind. Was one, this is like a 4 versus 4 fighting game, which I feel like if you're gonna do that, you need to have a very deep roster.
For
from
sure.
The get-go. Because like there's like people already kind of gravitate towards characters, like in terms of like tiers and S tiers and all that stuff. But I think if you're doing that many character selections, you need to have like a lot of variety. But like the thought process that like people are saying is, oh, you're gonna see 30 characters, or 32, because I guess divisible by 8 or by 4. But I don't know, man. Like, because this ultimately, like the second point is that this kind of in a way puts a nail in the coffin for like Marvel vs. Capcom 4 for what a lot of people are saying. Yeah. Which kind of sucks because I think like I always wanted Marvel vs. Capcom 4 just because I like it was just, I have a very specific memory that like growing up as a kid, we'd be driving through Florida and we'd go up to Orlando, and on the pit stops there would be like the arcade machines for Marvel vs. Capcom, and I'm like, why the hell is the Hulk fighting this Ryu guy? And I never played it because like my dad was like, nah, we use the bathroom and go. We have to get on the road.
Don't worry about that.
Me, I was like, I need to play this game growing up, right? So then I have like this like nostalgic attachment to it, but I don't know, man. I'm curious to see their take on it, because also the art style looks really nice, and the character designs look cool. Like Iron Man looks like a freaking Gundam, so that's like pretty dope.
Like Arc System Works does such good artwork, and the big thing that I'm excited about, like I was into DBFZ when it first came out, but it got really like, it's like a hyper fighter, there's like a lot of stuff going on, and I just kind of fell off because it's a bit I'll be honest, it's too fast for me. I can't keep up. But watching it and seeing like all the stuff that's going on is like super sick. So that's kind of what I'm excited for, just like the scene to change and just like what is going to happen. Because I personally haven't seen a 4v4 fighter. I don't know if you have. So I'm very curious to see how that looks.
I feel like there's going to be so much, man. You're just
for sure.
Bro, assists are going to be coming out left, right, and center. It's just it's going to be like
it's going to be a lot. But I am excited. I'm curious to see how it looks. And the last thing I am curious about is Outer Worlds 2. I know I've talked about it in the past where I kind of felt the first one was very front-loaded and it fell off. But that front-loaded bit that was there, I did enjoy. It was pretty funny. It was pretty fun, like the concept and everything like that. And this one, it kind of seems like they're going more in-depth with the RPG systems of like the flaws and the traits and all that stuff. So I'm digging the vibe, and I kind of want to see what this is about. I will be playing it probably on Game Pass, considering the game is going to be $80 freaking, but we will talk about that later. So
the fault, or is it fault system? Is that what
it's called, the fault system? Yeah, something like that.
That looked really. Was that in the first one?
No, it was not. That's also part of it.
That looked really interesting because they had a thing where it's like, if you keep stealing things or pickpocketing things, or they'll give you a buff where like the things you sell or the things that you steal sell for more, but randomly you'll start just stealing random things, like because like you act like a kleptomaniac, or like
Yep.
you forget that you stole something, which I was like, that's pretty funny. And then if you're always playing like a stealth archer build, they're like, oh, you can move quicker and do more damage while you're crouched, but when you stand up, your knees crack, and,
Yeah.
and it alerts where you are. And I was like, okay, it's like kind of stupid, but it's like really funny, like how they kind of lean into kind of the gameplay system. So
Yes.
yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're gonna do, but yeah. So, is there anything else that you wanted to cover from the gaming show stuff before we move on? I think we got mostly everything that we were interested in, right?
Yeah, I'm good on my end.
Nice. Oh, okay. This is just a little fun little tidbit or fun little thing. I was watching the show, the Xbox Showcase, and I was like, oh man, like this was a good show, but they haven't really like I didn't think that they like knocked it out of the park yet. You know, I was trying to find what that thing will be, and usually with shows like this, it's like the one more thing, you know.
Oh,
dude. I was watching the show and Phil Spencer gets up, he's like, hey, like Xbox, like, you know, it's a brand, like, you know, we're trying to do all this stuff, and he's like, oh, we have one more thing. I'm like, oh, like, are they gonna show the next Halo or something that's like unique to Xbox? And they're showing this, you know, this CGI trailer. I'm like, oh, okay, what is this? And I see the main character they show, I'm like, this guy looks familiar, like, why do I know what he looks like? Who is this? And they do the trailer and it's like Call of Duty and it's like Black Ops 7. I'm like, dog, why? Like,
one more thing. You didn't expect this one, guys.
yeah, Call of Duty, I'm not trying to knock the game, but like, it is not a one more thing type of announcement. It's like, okay, like, yeah, we know this is coming out. What do you?
Yeah,
You know?
I think maybe the one more thing aspect is like, oh, are we gonna get another whatever Vanguard World War II? No, you're gonna get, because I think
No,
this is
we
the
knew
first time.
we knew it was Black Ops 7, didn't we? I'm pretty sure
No,
we knew.
'cause Black Ops 6 was last year, bro.
Fair
You're
enough.
supposed to, they space them out.
That
Like,
is a good point.
so that's the curveball that Philly Spencer threw at you, man. You thought you was gonna get a World War II. He said no, World War III
Yeah, well.
in the future.
Well, oh, did you know that we've passed the Black Ops 2 like year in game currently?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. I think we should not say buzzwords because it's.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. That one more thing like kind of annoyed me, but whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I was texting my cousins on the side. We were watching it like together, and we were like, "God damn it!" Like, we were just like, "All right, whatever." But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the news.
You know who said one more thing actually?
Oh yeah, who?
CD Projekt Red.
Oh really? What'd they say?
Yeah, they. Okay. No, I look, bro. I'm just the alley-oop guy, bro. You
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So Witcher 3 might be getting a new expansion, according to rumor by Rock and Boris. I don't know who these people are, but there is a Witcher's project like in the works somewhere, and what people think is that it is. We know for sure that they're making a Witcher 1 remake, and another project that CDPR hasn't been announced yet. So a new Witcher 3 expansion is something that's in the works because it could be like a link between Witcher 3 and 4. But I would not put it past CD Projekt Red to throw something out because they're also throwing out more Cyberpunk content after they said it was done. So I don't know. I'm excited for more Witcher. Like, why not? You know, like
it's good that like they're able to do it on their own pace, because I feel like they're like, hey guys, we're kind of done, and then now the people's expectations are gone, and then like I guess as part of game development, I don't know if things got delayed or whatnot, but they're trying to generate, I guess, revenue out of things that already exist. So if they have free DLC for people to come back, I don't know if it's going to be paid or not. I actually don't know, but if this would be a new way for them to kind of build upon what they have, which I guess it'd be cool, right? Like for my side, I got the bad ending in Witcher 3, so Geralt's dead. It's not
really.
I mean, it's a bad ending. So what are they gonna expand on for me, bro? What do I do?
It's just his corpse rotting. That's what you have to do. Exactly. I mean, Witcher 3, the Steam charts right now, it's at like 22,000. So that's the latest 24-hour peak. That's still pretty high. And I
Yeah.
can imagine if a DLC gets dropped, bro, that number's shooting up, brother. That thing's going
Yeah,
up
yeah,
like
yeah.
crazy. Especially you can buy this game for $5. So like very easily it's gonna come in with like a bunch of stuff, with a bunch of sales. But
Yeah. It's just
just
interesting because like they've released like Ultimate Edition twice for
yeah.
for both Witcher and Cyberpunk. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna hit you with the
Super
old
Super
Capcom.
Saiyan God 3 or whatever for
Yeah, yeah. Like Ultra Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Hyper Turbo EX, Witcher
yeah,
Edition.
you have girl like fighting like fucking, what was it, Mega Man? He's like, portals.
Yeah.
But speaking of a lot of sales, the Switch 2 is the fastest selling game console of all time. In just 4 days, it sold 3.5 million units. And I, for one, am not surprised. It's been a while since we got a new Switch console, and the fact that all your games can be moved forward very easily without having to pay or anything like that, it makes sense. You know, people are fiending for new Nintendo content, and this is about the time when this would come out. There's no need to like rush to get a PS5 or an Xbox right now. Those have been out for a while, and you know, it's just, I'm not surprised at all. What about you?
I mean, I feel like there's hype around it, and there's because
Mhm.
I think a new piece of technology, a lot of times people like flock towards, obviously, and I think with Nintendo, they have such an X factor
Mhm,
that
mhm.
people will be like, "Oh my god, I hate Nintendo," and then buy it.
Yep.
Like, or like, like there's nothing to play, and then buy it, right?
Yeah.
There's just something about the Switch and Nintendo that like it's the same way that Disney and Apple are just like you can't knock them. So I think maybe with the Switch 2, it's possible that like you can say, oh, you have the Switch 1 backlog that you can kind of get through,
Mhm.
but I feel like the only game that like would really kind of knock it out is the Zelda games, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the
Yeah, I
Kingdom.
actually did play Breath of
Uh,
the Wild on the Switch too. Dude, buttery smooth. It was so crazy how well it ran, you know?
yeah,
Um
but you definitely know the designers are like, please release it early, because
please.
our
Yeah,
yeah, but
exactly.
it's funny because like this is like a sub point, but like about like the best, like the title of like most console sold or whatever,
Yeah.
because so regarding the Switch 1, there was a time where it was constantly like going toe to toe with the PS2, and every single time it was about to break the threshold, somehow miraculously Sony's like, oh, we sold way more PS2s right now. So
10 million PS4s or whatever found in a bin outside or something.
no, dude, PlayStation 2s like
Oh yeah,
they're just
PS2s.
yeah, they're like going to like Pakistan or something and just like, yeah, have one, have please,
Yep,
just
yep,
take it,
yep.
just so that they could maintain that number. So I'm curious to see if the Switch 2 will come back and just dunk on that record, because like I feel like at some point it's bound to get to for the door to be for that record to kind of get knocked away. So
Yep.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But they
Um
just need to release games. Look, listen, actually, do your part in not making this a reality. Don't buy the Switch 2. I'm telling you right now, there's no games. You're gonna buy a console for 2 games?
well, you can bring all your Switch 1
You
games
buy it
over.
for 3 games. Well, if you have a Switch 1, you already have your games. You're
No, I
gonna play
know,
it
but
again.
it's about it's like the same kind of feeling for people who don't play on PC or other consoles. To them, it's like the equivalent of getting a new graphics card. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a
Yeah.
pretty big jump.
Like, yeah, let me buy at 5090 so I can just replay Minecraft. You know, I really already replayed Terraria.
I'll be honest, when I bought my 5080, the first game I booted up was
Oh,
Cyberpunk.
Balatro,
Oh
you
no,
booted up Balatro.
Balatro. Yeah, you're right. Actually, it was Balatro. I didn't consider Balatro a game anymore. It's just a lifestyle at this point, you know?
Damn, bro.
But speaking of games, you know, there are some individuals on the Switch 2 or with the Switch 2 that are trying to play some old games. That being people that are using a MIG flash, which is a cartridge that allows Switch 1 games, like allows you to play Switch 1 games on it, off of it rather. It's like a emulator cartridge, and Nintendo has a software, has a feature, you know, is able to verify on the Switch 2 remotely. What is that? Not official? Boom, your console is now nuked, bricked, cannot be used anymore at all.
Yeah. So it sounds like, for context, like this is like I guess like this Mick Flash is like back in the day when you used to burn get like stuff on CDs or DVD like in DVDs and take them out. It's like I'm assuming people are able to just like dump like the game onto another cartridge and like make copies of it. Is that what it sounds like? I
Yeah,
guess, or...
basically it lets you rip ROMs, and then it also lets you play ROMs. And where do you get those ROMs is legally dubious at best, you know. But you know, it is the thing is, this article also, I'm reading an article from Tom's Hardware, but people are basically who are getting banned are like, but I was playing my Switch 1 games, like I owned the ROM. And yes, of course, I am I've said it before, I'm full in support of people having ROMs and emulating because it's legal, you're allowed to do it. But come on, like really, like you're gonna use a MIG flash to do this and Nintendo's gonna let you do it? Like there's no way. You should have known that they're gonna nuke your shit as soon as you plug that in, you know?
Yeah. At this point, bro, if you want to play the game and somebody has a copy, just do the family share thing, man. Come on, like, is it that bad? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I feel like the discussion around like reverse engineering and ROMs and the line of ownership, it's like there's points to be made at both sides. Like if you're gonna be talking about game preservation and things like that, I completely understand it. But like, bro, this is like a new piece of hardware. There's a good chance people are not using it in the ethical means, in their getting copies in the way that you're not supposed to get them. So I mean, it's
I mean, yeah, like that's
like,
it's probably what's happening, and that's why
yeah.
Nintendo's just like, all right, whatever. And it's also funny because I saw this like thing where it's like, oh, like Nintendo Switch 2 is like the best console ever, like what the hell can a Steam Deck do? And then the tweet reply was like Switch 2 emulation, and the people have already figured it out. So
Yeah,
you know, like it's a it's a race basically to see how fast you can break a Nintendo console. They did it with the Alarmo. They're doing it. They put Doom on the Alarmo. You know, they did a Switch 2. I cannot wait for like them to put it in a Cybertruck or something, because it's coming. You know it is.
Yeah, I mean,
but, you know. Oh, hang on. Give me 1 second. My pizza's here.
Yep.
I will pause the recording. Oh, what? Can I do that? How do I? Oh, I can't. Oh well. Oh yes, I can. All right. Okay, we are recording again. Sorry about that, folks. I had to go get my pizza. But, yeah. Any other thoughts on the Switch 2 being nuked and all that stuff?
nah, I'm good, man.
Okay.
Just
Let's
don't
see.
buy it. Got him.
No games. You know what you can do? You can save that money that you wanted to spend on Switch 2 and put it towards something that has a lot of good value, like Outer Worlds 2. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Outer Worlds 2 is going to be the first Xbox game that is going to be $80. So during the presentation, they did not announce the price. They had a whole showcase for the game, not talking about the price. And it was a little weird, but people were like, okay, whatever. And it was a little weird because a big tone of the game that they were like showcasing and talking about was like, oh, like you're a dirty capitalist. You got to kill the capitalists. Like like that vibe. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Yeah.
big company making this self-aware joke. It's like, okay, fair enough. Like that can be funny. And then lo and behold, the game, is put on Steam and they say, hey, pre-purchase for $80. And people were like, whoa, that's insane. But Xbox did say they're going to do this. They said they're going to price hike. And the fact that Outer Worlds 2 is going to be the first one that does this is a little rough, because I know people do want to play this game, but like that's a pretty steep, price to be asking for. And if the game suffers because of that, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Microsoft, it looks at their data and makes decisions. So I'm curious to see if this one flops in the way that it's not meeting expectations, if they're gonna kind of go back on the price tag. I don't know. It's interesting because like they might just be playing the long game, I guess, from the aspect of like, okay, maybe like that they're not really in the hardware space anymore, and they're just trying to kind of
Well,
like make their money as a publisher. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. It's one thing where it's like Nintendo's already doing it. It's only a matter of time for other companies do it. Xbox being the one to do it as well is like, okay, I understand, but do you have the standing to do this? And I don't think Xbox does personally at this point in time, at least, you know?
because it could be also like maybe the horizon that like the timeline that we're seeing is this, right? Like is there's already reports that Xbox is not going to be publishing, or not, they're not going to be printing games for the Xbox itself and only be printing physical copies for PlayStation. Given that they're going out with this kind of Windows Xbox centric Windows approach, where the handhelds and consoles are going to be this Windows machine that with an Xbox flavor that lets you play all these games and has access to Game Pass. They're probably reading the room and saying, hey, we're pretty sure since Nintendo jumped to $80 that other people are going to jump to $80. If they say, hey, on Xbox you're no longer going to get physical discs and everybody's going to be,
hold on,
man,
Xbox,
just give me a second, bro.
Xbox is doing what now?
Okay, that you're not going to be getting a physical disc, and other games are going to be costing $80. They might just open their arms and say like, gosh, shucks, man, what if you just have Game Pass? And like their whole thing is maybe like they do this, they fall on the sword just to say, hey, you can play our games on Game Pass and it'd be a lot cheaper, right? Like I think maybe that's like the story, right? Like now
maybe, yeah, that's a good point.
Xbox Windows so easy to get, and they kind of go toe to toe with Steam. Like maybe that's how they're playing the game, because like now they're like, I'm not fighting Sony, I'm fighting Steam, and I'm fighting gaming as a larger landscape, you know?
So are you telling me that Xbox is committing a psyop against us? They're telling us, oh, that sucks, but you could do this option, you know? Like they're playing
It's
master
possible.
chess. Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro.
Hey, I applaud the gambit, you know? Will it pay off for them? Only time will tell. So
look, I'm just saying, look, I'm not saying I'm the only person saying this, but I was saying that they needed to do a Windows version of Xbox, and then that could be their ticket. So maybe they're just like, you know, going on that angle. I don't know, man.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe I had dinner with Phil Spencer and he told me. I don't know.
Hey, whoa. You're telling me you sat with Phil Spencer and wined and dined him?
Yeah.
What y'all talk about?
We talked about that they're the next segue to the story.
Laid that up for you, but it's okay.
I wasn't sure, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What Ahmed and Phil Spencer talked about over dinner, over a candlelit dinner, was hold on. Yeah, okay. They talked about that first party. They talked about the first party, like next gen stuff, which is they have announced a deal with AMD and promises full backwards compatibility with existing Xbox library. First off, fantastic news about the backwards compatibility. Makes complete sense. This should be done normally. And they're adding more Xbox 360 games on there as well, which is dope. But the AMD bit is actually particularly interesting. They basically said, hey, we have a partner with AMD for the next generation of Xbox consoles. I wonder what that will look like and how that will affect the consoles and stuff, because the Xbox consoles are pretty powerful, right? Like from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
The Xbox Series X, the most powerful console in the generation. I don't know if that's to say if that's still true after the PS5 Pro, but still, that was their tagline.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I look forward to seeing what this is. People are speculating that this could cost upwards of $1,000 though. So, bro, could you imagine $1,000 for an Xbox? That's crazy.
If it is like this Windows gaming machine, then you're just basically buying a gaming PC.
Correct. That is true.
So then a gaming PC for $1,000. That sounds like a Costco deal.
Okay. That is a very good point, actually. Yeah.
It depends, right? If
It
if
does
it, if
depends.
it's like targeting, if it ends up being like somewhere around like a 3070 build or something, like kind of that target, because I think the current PlayStation is like a 2060 or 2070 like RTX. If you assume that each generation you go up an increment, then
Yeah.
I feel like the 30 series cars are pretty good for like 1440p at like high frame rate. So I mean,
Interesting. Okay.
getting that on the consoles would be great, I guess.
That
right?
is true. Yeah, and it does sound like a eye-watering price, but when you factor in how much comes with that in terms of like Game Pass, backwards compatibility for your library, like this is a symptom of the long game. So
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
So yeah, so it seems like Xbox, like, from ROG, from Asus, they're striking a partnership with AMD. They're striking a partnership. There is currently another rumor for another partnership that Microsoft is doing with Meta. Apparently, they're going to be releasing a Meta Quest 3S Xbox edition.
Oh,
The packaging got leaked online, which basically, if I'm not mistaken,
send me a link to
gives
this.
It's the rumor here. I'll throw
let me look at this.
Here, I'll drop it down here. So the rumor is that you're gonna get it's gonna be $399, which I think is like around the same price of like the current Quest 3S, and you get 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. This honestly I think is interesting because I like, unlike my Sony, where Sony has their own dedicated headset. I think for Xbox to kind of launch this, I would not be surprised if at some point they add support for like native games from Quest, from the Xbox to be streamed to the Quest, right? Because at this point, Xbox doesn't have any VR support. So this would be great to see if they kind of say, hey, any VR headset would be compatible here, and then you can play your games, which that could open the door, honestly. And if the next Xbox is this Windows centric game and you have Steam, you can do Steam VR and then plug in whatever headset, and maybe they're just kind of priming the gears and kind of laying the foundations and partnerships so that there is like a sponsored VR headset that they can point towards to in case like the consumer base wants to get a headset. I think this is interesting, because before there was like Xbox Live streaming to the Quest.
Yeah.
And so I think there's like breadcrumbs here that eventually in the future, maybe we get specific like Xbox, like the Xbox itself runs the game and then you connect to the headset. But this rumor is just saying you get a normal regular Quest 3 with just like some Game Pass stuff. Maybe the color looks different, but who knows?
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember the couple months ago there was an Xbox trend or Xbox marketing plan where it's like everything is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. That's an Xbox. So this fits in line with that. Like I think it's really cool. But I'm just thinking like Phil Spencer gets on stage. One more thing. We got the Xbox Meta Quest. We got the Xbox console. We got the Xbox controller. What's next for Xbox? A whole new Xbox appliances. Welcome to the Xbox mini fridge.
They have the mini fridge.
They have a mini fridge. Here's an Xbox KitchenAid. Here's an Xbox lamp. Here's an Xbox.
They have a Series S toaster.
Oh my god, dude, it's happening.
No, this is a thing, man.
This is oh, that's so sick. Okay, that's kind of dope. Honestly, I respect the hustle. I wonder what next will become Xbox. Will I become Xbox? Will you become Xbox?
The next PlayStation is probably going to be Xbox, the way everything is running right now.
Next PlayStation? What do you mean next PlayStation?
Why are you saying it like this, bro? We're not in a comic book. Gee Willikers, I wonder what's going to happen.
Oh boy, Goofy, I wonder what the next PlayStation is going to do. Yeah, so there was a conversation from I don't know where this conversation came from, but Insider Gaming tweeted out that PlayStation 6 is the top of Sony's priorities right now, says Sony CEO. They have an article out here. Kind of crazy. Oh, let me see here. Oh, it's a business segment with the investors. Okay, cool. That's where this came from. He basically said, yeah, like PS6 is at the top of our priority. Like we're thinking about it. We're focused on it. Brother, what are the games, man? Like what are you talking about? Why PS6? What happened to Wolverine and stuff? Like why are you?
They're focusing on the wrong thing.
You think so?
They have literally like I think it's like 40% of the player base is still on PS4s. Like you're worrying about the wrong PlayStation. You should be selling PS5s first, man.
Yeah.
Don't be thinking about sixes, bro. Get this out of here, bro. It's like there's this graph. Literally, if you look at it, it's literally 30% or 40% are still on PS4s.
That's
bro, when did the PS4 come up? PS4 is like 11 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, the PS4 is in the PS4 is it's not 11 years. Okay, 11-year-old. What? How old is it? I was gonna say how old is an 11-year-old? What grade is an 11-year-old?
Oh man.
11-year-old grade. It's like 6th grade.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's also a weird thing of like they keep doing this thing where they keep raising the price of the PS5, so it makes it harder for people who want to upgrade to do so. So these people are stuck on PS4, and I don't know if you've seen the tweets, but it's the funniest thing where they announce a game like Ghosts of Yotei or like, you know, whatever it might be, Nightreign, and people like in the comments are like, so is this gonna run on PS4 or what? PS4 release when? And people just like in the comments are like, brother, I don't know how to tell you this. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna shame people for not.
Of course,
something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it's like maybe it's just not. I don't know. Anyways, man, I'm not gonna like call. People get tax returns, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man.
Maybe that's a wrong take on to say on this. It's just
it's just that I don't blame the players for having PS4s. I blame Sony for not making the PS5 a more palatable package, because realistically, I don't know if there are that many exclusives, and I don't know if there are that many good exclusives that came out on it. And so it's like, why would someone buy a PS5 realistically, right? Like it's expensive, and especially now it's just really tough. So
no, that's true, honestly, because at this point, like a lot of the games are coming out on PC, right? So like it's not like Ragnarok was like their biggest game, like one of the biggest games, and it's 4, 5, and PC. So it's like, why would you even, if you're at the point where you're owning a 4, like you can just build a PC, I guess, right? Like and just you can play, you have a much more plethora of games to play.
Or buy a Switch 2.
Please don't buy Switch 2. Well, you're gonna play Mario Kart by yourself.
Yeah, actually.
On like the worst freaking servers.
Yeah, well, fair. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. I don't know if we're ready for PS6 anytime soon. I'd say give it at least 2 years, in my opinion. But we'll see. It's probably not gonna happen. It's probably gonna come out like tomorrow or some shit.
Yeah.
But we did mention the idea that Sony does need to focus more on games, and there has been a recent development with that. Sony, and it's reported by Insider Gaming, Sony reportedly is interested in buying some Warner Bros. Assets games. So, and this is like a multi article story, so we'll jump a little bit, but essentially what's happening is that Warner Bros. Games has been restructuring to create new divisions based on its key gaming franchises. The new divisions will focus on Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and the DC universe. This is stuff that we understand, that we've heard about, and we know that this is happening. But Warner Bros. Has also announced it on June 9th that, hey, we're going to split our company into 2 separate entities, WD Streaming and Studios and WBD Global Networks. The split, which is scheduled to be completed by mid-2026, would see all the company's linear assets, such as, you know, the TV stuff, TNT Sports, CNN, Discovery, under the Global Networks wing, and Streaming and Studios includes games, HBO Max, production studios, and more. And Sony's interested in acquiring that streaming and studios aspect of it, or like acquiring parts of it. I think, well, okay, I'll be honest, Warner Bros. And games, like their gaming side of things, is it's an abusive relationship, and I want the games under Warner Bros. To be let loose and be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah,
And if they need to be acquired by
interesting.
Sony or do so, then I don't know.
Yeah, because it's interesting because they're set up right now, like across the board on like all. I think on all aspects they've just been taking L's. Like like because you're talking about like okay, the Warner Discovery merger was like pretty tough.
Yep.
And they couldn't even land the HBO Max Max or HBO, like they couldn't even nail that part, so that was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The movie stuff tanked, bro. Snyderverse got dunked on. Freaking what's his name? What's the Ezra Miller? The Flash got dunked on.
Yup.
Wonder Woman got dunked on. Everything is not going well. The gaming division got like uppercutted, got RKO'd. It was a tough situation. So like now maybe they're just like just so fed up. They're like, all right, bro, we're divorced. Get me out of here. But it's I think it's good that like they're, I guess, figuring out how things are supposed to be, right? Because there was something that I was reading, right, where essentially I guess let me like I'll kind of like jump forward and then kind of come back, right?
Yeah.
Where like that they're taking Warner Brother games and kind of like initially they were saying, hey, we're only gonna focus on like these 4 aspects of like, okay, we're only gonna care about Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Batman, and Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
And then they're kind of taking all of those games and like the efforts there and all their studios, and they're kind of splitting it into 2. So you have one of the like Mortal Kombat guys, I forget his name. I think it's like Sean Hemrick from NetherRealms. He's getting promoted to like a proper like Warner Brothers like business guy, and he's going to be managing the DC games and the NetherRealm games. And then there's another guy that's going to be handling Harry Potter and the Game of Thrones, right? They're bringing like 2 gaming people to kind of head those things. So now those 2 aspects can like at least, because before you had like other CEOs that like that didn't even know anything about games and like, oh, just get this going. What do you mean we can't do what this other? What do you mean we can't do a Fortnite? Why we can't have all these monies or whatever, right? Live service, yeah, make me money. So I think since they're restructuring this way, it'll be I think more beneficial for these studios, and I think for Sony to kind of jump in here might be kind of smart, because like I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers needs some level of infusion. I don't know if this is going to be like a partnership with like what they have with From Software's parent company.
Yeah.
But
the thing is,
I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, it's in that same instance of the From Software parent company. From Software's parent company does a lot of other stuff than just From Software stuff. And the way it's looking, this could also be a move to try to get that streaming space of HBO Max and, you know, all that stuff. So it's a multi-level thing, but we're obviously focused on the gaming aspect of it right now. And that being that, I am very curious to see like what Sony can do if they were to acquire this. Again, I'm not a fan of mega monopoly companies, obviously, but I am curious to see from a gaming standpoint what this looks like for these properties and for gaming in general from this space. Because WB is obviously not happy. I don't know if you saw the news, but they also just cut. This is great. David Zaslav, which is like the WB CEO, is getting a pay cut, and it's a pretty substantial pay cut. Let me see if I have the numbers here. He is getting. I can't find the numbers right now, but essentially he's getting a pretty sizable pay cut to both his pay and his shares in the company as well, because the other executives are not happy with his decisions and how he's running the company. So I think this is part of that effort to like, okay, this guy sucks, cut his pay. We need to figure out a way to make this profitable, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
am.
this could be a good angle. I mean, like, because Sony already, from a media perspective, like they own like Crunchyroll, right? And I
Mhm.
think for getting part of, I'm the name is forgetting with me. The FromSoft's parent company has like some manga and some streaming stuff. From my understanding, I think that was what they're interested in, from buying stake in that company, and then for
Uh,
them to want to buy stake in Warner's makes sense, or like in the specific like gaming and streaming division, I guess is would be. I just don't want them because they're on such a live service binge. I don't want them to influence and
yeah.
make another
Oh, God.
game, Harry Potter live service or something.
That's what I'm
Please,
saying,
like
and
this.
I think also like a big thing that we saw at the state of play is that there was not a single live service game announced there, right?
Yeah.
So that might be good, um, because the only other live service game they have left is Marathon, and I don't know if you heard, but Marathon is getting a pretty big delay. We don't know when or for how long, but it is not making it's not making it September 26th or 23rd release date.
Yeah.
Dude, like this is something that like would destroy employees' morale. Like
Hmm.
it's gone. There's no morale left in the company, I assume, right? Because to be working on a project and then to be found out, to be told like, hey, like everything you're doing has to be put on hold because there's mad plagiarism going on. We can't verify if anything in this game is original now. We have to go through and do a huge sweep because while the artist that we talked about before, how her work was stolen, while you can say like she says, oh, I'm not going to pursue legal action because I don't have the money for it or whatever, like I'm not interested in it, I just want this to be known this is happening, nothing is stopping her from pursuing legal action in the future if this game makes $1 million or whatever, you know. um
Yeah. It sucks because like I wanted to say, oh my god, finally a game using like new technology with a dedicated art style that's not just hyper realism, and
yeah,
then the art style comes up to be plagiarized. It's like, bro, I can't.
yeah.
It's tough.
um the art style's plagiarized, the game itself is not, supposedly it's not, doesn't feel great to play, there's not much to do, and it's not a good like, not a
Yeah.
good like package. So what do you have left? Like what do they have, what other options do they have besides to delay it and make it like good? But
Yeah,
I don't
I
know what
think
this
it's the delay is good. I think one first and foremost because like you're without the delay, the employees I guess would be receiving harassment. So like now they can kind of retreat in the spotlight a little bit. They can right some wrongs like or like kind of
yeah,
see what the path to doing that and address some of the criticisms. 'Cause aside from like the art stuff, some of the criticisms are like, oh, extraction shooters are supposed to be um, super technical and like deep and like have layer of difficulty for the sake of like the depth. But this game kind of like streamlines a lot of it and like makes it so it's not that there isn't like as much like dopamine kind of coming in terms of like discovering new things
yeah,
or feeling like you're like kind of making your own discoveries, right? Where like they streamline so much that the game is like, okay, it's like a little bit of autopilot, and you just get into your dailies and leave, and I don't know.
yeah.
So we'll see.
um yeah, I don't, I'm very curious to see what happens next, because do we hear about it as it's developing? Should like, are they gonna just keep a lid on it until it's fixed? Like what's going on over there at that company? I hope, you know, I hope everyone is okay, because this is rough to hear
Hmm.
from an employee perspective. But you know, what do you expect? This is nothing surprising. What is surprising is that Nexus Mods was actually sold by its owner after 24 years of ownership. So the owner, his name Robin Scott, basically kind of said, "Hey, I need to sell this because it's taking up too much of my time. My life is like just this constantly. It's a constant source of stress." Which, fair enough. He's been running this set for 24 years. It's a pretty big project, and he sold this to some individuals, which we do not know who they are yet, I believe. But people are worried that's like, it's like a venture capital thing, and like this is about to go down the shitter. Essentially, is what the worry is. but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it would be interesting because I can imagine probably the difficulty is like you're hosting a mod place and then some publisher or some developer or some copyright owner is like, stop, I don't want you to do this, or you're someone using my asset from another game in this other game and I didn't authorize this, and it's like, bro, I'm the storekeeper. So I can imagine there's that, and then there may be someone, I can imagine people just getting upset left right, like business
Yeah.
people, gamers, all this, they're just upset at one person, so he's like, okay, maybe I want to get out. I don't even know if it's even profitable, like because the only thing you pay for is like faster downloads.
Yep. Yeah, the thing is, it's funny because like I know you'll appreciate this quote. He says that every single day for over 2 decades, I've been on quote unquote on call. Whether it was fixing issues, reading feedback, pushing updates, or getting pulled into the latest bit of community drama, it's been rewarding, sometimes chaotic, often exhausting, and always personal. Somewhere along the way, I forgot to take a step back and breathe or sleep properly. The dilemma of running a major social network that does not rest. Like, I feel that. I get it, I just hope it's in the right hands. He did say that like he spent time looking to make sure it's with someone who believes will take care of the site, but you never know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm just there to download my occasional mod for fixing textures or or graphics or something. So I mean, shout outs to you for letting me do that for Cyberpunk.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know. I do wonder, however, what this means for the future of Kojima Productions and the future of Death Stranding 2. I don't know if you've seen some of the mods that people make for Death Stranding 2, but like they just put like random ass costumes in the game, or like they like replace the monsters with like Thomas the Tank Engine, which is like great. But
Oh man.
they this kind of, I bring up Death Stranding 2 because Hideo Kojima made significant changes to Death Stranding 2 because playtesters thought it was quote unquote too good. He changed some stuff in the script and the way some crucial stuff happens because he thought his work was not polarizing. Honestly, if it was anybody else that did this, I would be like, you're just trying too hard, like whatever. Like Neil Druckmann did the same thing where he's like, oh, Last of Us 2 is meant to be controversial, like you don't understand, like
Yeah.
that kind of vibe. But with this, it's like Kojima said it, and it's like it's one of those things where every single piece of work that he's put out, generally he believes in, and he like is trying to tell like a lesson or a story. So if he thinks that it needs to be controversial for a certain reason, I personally think I'm excited to see that, and see what that means for the game itself.
Yeah. Because like one of the quotes that he was saying was that like if everyone likes your work, it means it's already mainstream and it's conventional and pre-digested. And he says, I don't want people to like something when they first encounter it, because like over time is like when you grow to love something, right?
Yep.
And I think that's like, it makes sense where it's like you need kind of space for things to marinate.
Yes.
So I can understand kind of from that aspect.
Mhm.
But part of it, this could also just be like a not necessarily mistranslation, but it could just be like he's trying to say something, but someone's like, oh, you just want to make it worse for the sake of it making worse. I don't think it's necessarily like you're making it worse in that aspect, but like you're maybe giving it in a different spin that maybe folks wouldn't have thought about, or
Yeah.
I don't know. But this is an interesting article because if you're making a smash hit at the first time, it's like that's maybe not what the intention was, because like he's made good amazing action games before. So when I think he made Death Stranding, he's like, oh, I want to try to tell something that like you like tightly explains the story, or you feel the story through the gameplay and through the moments that are not just the dialogue, right?
Yeah, and he said straight up, hey, this is about COVID. Like, this is going to be about COVID. This is like has to deal with those kinds of lessons we learned from that. So having experienced it recently, like just the whole pandemic and stuff, like the fact that he's going about a controversial subject already, and he's like, hey, I want to do something that hasn't been done before. It makes me really excited to see what he's cooking up, Um,
Yep.
but yeah, we'll see where this goes. And I listened to the soundtrack for Death Stranding, and I won't say anything because I know you're trying to avoid any spoilers or anything. But man, like, I want this game so bad, and I'm legitimately waiting about buying it for PS5 versus just waiting for PC because I want to play this game at the fullest fidelity that I can. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, there's one way to do it, but you're not listening, man. I'm telling you, bro. Trade in the base station,
Nope.
and then you add another 200 on it, and then you have a machine for Ghost of Yote and for Death Stranding and for GTA. I'm telling you right there, bro.
Okay, let me ask you this. Where should I get a PS5 Pro from?
Bro, easy. GameStop, man. They got the best games in the
GameStop.
business.
The game store, or like what do they got there? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's in the name, bro. It's a game.
Well,
Or are they saying they're gonna or they're gonna stop selling games?
There
Bars, bro.
you go.
Bars.
Hold on, that's pretty good. You got it there. Yeah, no, I don't know what the hell is going on over at GameStop, but the CEO basically said, yeah, the company's probably not gonna do games anymore. We're gonna lean into trading cards. This is the most like stupid brain like take I've ever seen. Like, okay, I don't know if yeah.
This should have been an expansion into the business. It's logical sense to like the overlap of people playing trading card games and video games is that demographic has a lot of the Venn diagram is pretty well connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They should have done this initially. For them to be like, yo, actually, I don't care about games. Like that's a different thing. Like, that's a weird thing. I don't know if it's because they're just sitting on so much physical inventory of like used games. Maybe is that the problem? I don't know.
The thing is, they're also like, yeah, I don't know. It's also like, to hear this is so disheartening because it's like, it is literally just to get rich. And obviously it's a company. They're more than entitled to do that. That's not, duh, right? But it's just like, come on, man. Like, this is the having a physical store is really important because it's very useful. Like if you have an issue with the console, you know where to go. Like if you like to replace it, whatever, like, having someone there as a store, like I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people would just rather buy it online, and that's completely fair. But like we're already losing a lot of GameStop to like Funko Pops and things like that. I don't know if you've been in a GameStop recently, but it's just like merch at this point. So, different things like that are just kind of suffering. But it's just the trading card thing is really getting to me because, like, okay, I don't know if I told you this, but a couple of weeks ago or a couple months ago, I went to a comic book store near my house. So literally like really close, and I'm like, oh, let me go see it. Like I love comics, let me see what they got. And I hadn't been since I moved in ever. I've never been, so I've been excited to go and check it out because I've been really, saving it for when I have time and stuff like that. So get there and get to the store, and then there's like no comics, and I'm like, oh, all right, am I in the right store? Step outside, check, and I walk back in. I'm like, oh no, I'm in the right store. What's going on? And there's like the front glass has like trading cards, but like other comic book stores have that too. And then I look and there's people playing games on tables, which is again normal for comic book stores at times. And then I'm like, hey, do you guys have comics? And they're like, oh no, actually we're transitioning away from comics to like a trading card store. Dude, I was so pissed. I was like, oh my god, are you fucking serious? Like, oh, like I don't know how profitable this venture is, but it must be really profitable because this, a bunch of places are doing it. And if GameStop is doing it, then it's like, okay, like, god damn, dude, like, I feel like you're losing the plot here a little bit,
I mean, like, I guess if it's to expand into certain things, I guess sure, but it's, like, I don't know, because like I also I feel like they're a little, I don't know if they're late on it or not, because I feel like the Pokemon craze was like a couple months ago, but I feel like that's still going on right now, and Magic the Gathering is also picking up, but I mean, if they're like, if it's that they're gonna host physical spaces for people to play and kind of lean more into that, and be like, oh, if you want to buy games, sure. But if it's But if they're just like, yo, dude, you're only gonna be able to get like the AAA games here, then or not even that, then that'd be a crazy situation where
Mm-hmm.
like you're no longer can buy games there, and it's just like, oh, go get your cards graded and go play a tournament and then go home, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be crazy to see because they did sell off. Because at some
Geek.
point,
Not Think Geek.
no, like the Canadian subsidiary used to be
Oh,
EB
yeah.
Games.
Yes.
So they sold that off, and then now EB Games is coming back as like a full thing.
Nice. Okay.
Which I mean, where I grew up, there used to be a EB Games and a GameStop right next to each other, and when they bought EB Games, now they had two GameStops next to each other.
Nice.
And then both of them closed down. Damn.
I will also say, I would not trust GameStop to grade my trading cards, bro. Like the workers there and all that, like they steal games out of the boxes before giving it to you. Sometimes, like I wouldn't send my shit over there to get graded and looked at at all, you know. But that's just me. I've also heard that GameStop is one of the worst places to work for. So there's that. But you know,
Damn.
maybe that's just the world we live in now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you got any closing remarks for the podcast? Anything else you want to say about GameStop, or any life lessons you want to give to the crowd?
If you made it this far, thank you.
Yes.
It's been a while since we had episodes, so it's just we're back on it, I guess. And play Clair Obscure Expedition 33. It's a long name, but it's a good game. And
Yes.
Do something nice for your family if you're able to.
Yes. My life lesson will be: make sure you drink water today, and make sure you get some sun. Go touch grass, because it is very helpful and is very good for you. But that will conclude our show. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to send us an email and want to ask us questions, feel free to do it at beardbytesmail@gmail.com. Beard and then BYTES mail@gmail.com. Yeah, everyone have a good one.
Take care.